Felix Goodwin is one of Melbourne's best gluten-free bakers. Your baked goods are honestly phenomenal, and you're going to be making one of your signatures here, cookies.
Yes, that is correct.
Awesome.
Today we'll be making the Davidson Plum with roasted pineapple jam cookie.
Yum. And this is the Davidson Plum here. For those who haven't tried it, what's the flavour?
It's very tangy. It's quite acidic, got a bit of tannin in there. Massive highlight in this recipe.
I love this because it's almost taking a classic cookie, turning it on its head and making it extra special and gluten-free. So what have you got in the bowl here?
So in the bowl, I've got my butter and my sugar. It's already creamed.
Yep.
And I'm going to be adding my eggs now.
Okay.
And then I'll be incorporating them.
Nice.
It'll just take a second to get going.
Okay.
While I've got this, can you please start with the crackling?
Yes, so a cookie with a crackling. Sounds good.
Yeah, so this will really help give it a special look, add a lot of colour, as well as a nice little zing on the outside of the biscuit.
Butter straight into the
Yes,
blender?
please, butter and the sugar, and get that going. As soon as that's come together, you can just start to add the rest of the ingredients.
Sounds good. Now, tell me a little bit about your gluten-free baking. I don't know what you do to it, but it doesn't taste like there's not classic wheat flours in it. Is it just a lot of testing, trial and error?
I'm not trying to make them healthy. I'm adding plenty of butter, plenty of sugar, and I'm trying to use local and the best quality products that I can afford to put in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's no secret to it. Good quality ingredients, it's always going to taste nice.
100%.
So that's looking good now.
Yeah, so this is pretty much ready for our next step. I've got the eggs fully incorporated into there.
Yep.
So I'm going to start by adding the salt.
Yes.
And this is another part about gluten-free cooking. I'm going to be adding the almond meal
Yep.
along with the coconut. So this just really helps with the gluten-free flours that we're adding. They're very high in starch. This is going to create a nicer mouthfeel. So when you finish eating these, you're not going to be left with like a pasty, gluten-free feeling.
Let's have a look at this. This is creamed nicely, the butter and the sugar. And what goes in next?
So you can add your almond meal, your flour and your Davidson plum.
Okay. And where can we find the Davidson Plum? This is a dehydrated product.
I buy this one from specialty stores or online.
And I see you've got some dye here.
It's just a little encouragement, just to kind of bring the red forward a little bit.
I love how you say that. A little bit of encouragement, sure. And how much? A little drop.
Just a few drops.
1, 2, 3. Best to start little,
and
see how it looks, and then add a little bit more later.
Definitely.
All right, I'll give that another blend until it's all combined.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to start adding my gluten-free flour blend.
Gee, it's so good these days that you can find these gluten-free flours. And what have you got here?
And that's the potato starch. That will be the final one I'm adding.
So would you like that in now?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll just pour that in.
Try not to make a mess. It's
A little flour bomb.
if you're using a mixer, don't mix too fast when you're adding the flours, otherwise you will wear it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so after this we'll be popping it into the fridge.
Yep.
This will just make it a little bit easier to handle later on.
Yes.
When we ball it up and we stuff them.
All right, how's that looking, Felix?
That looks great, Jazzy.
Yeah,
So
I like
next,
that.
I'm going to get you to roll that one out between 2 sheets of paper.
Yep.
And then cut that into circles.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to pop this into a takeaway and chill.
Sounds good.
Okay, Jazz, the Davidson plum crackling has come out of the freezer. I've got the cookie dough out of the fridge here, and I've got some pineapple jam here.
Nice one.
I'm going to get you to cut some discs out of this while it's still cold.
And it is so important to make sure this is cold, just to make life a lot easier, right?
Yes, you saw how soft it was before.
Oh, look at that colour. I
Perfect.
just love it.
All right, so I've got my coconut cookie dough here, making a small ball. I'm just going to flatten that with the palm of my hand. And right now I'm almost making like a dumpling wrapper.
Oh, yeah.
So I make sure it's a little thinner around the edges. And then I scoop some of my jam
Now, this is pineapple jam. Tell me the process of making that.
Yes, that is correct. This is a pineapple jam that we've made by roasting off the pineapples till they're nice and caramelized.
Yeah.
We blend that with the sugar and then we cook that out until it's pretty much traditional jam consistency.
And what are we doing with this little disc of Davidson plum crackling?
You can just pop that directly on top of the cookie, and
like that?
as that cooks, it will drape over nicely.
Oh, this is very fancy. I love this. And Felix, how long are we going to cook these delicious cookies for, and at what temperature?
We're going to cook them at 175 degrees for about 15 to 18 minutes.
Sounds good. This is not your average cookie. It looks amazing. I love how that delicious crackling that we added has cracked, and it's that vibrant pink colour. So good. And just as they came out of the oven, I just noticed you'd press them down with a spatula. Why do you do that while they're hot?
It's just to make sure it doesn't break and still give it a nice crackle effect and a good uniform layer. And finishing off, we're going to add a little bit more Davidson plum powder.
Okay.
This is purely flavour preference. You put a little bit more if you want more acidity in there. It is quite a strong flavour.
Yeah. So pretty. And what makes these gluten-free cookies more exciting is the fact that there's beautiful jam inside it, right?
Exactly. Now have a taste. Tell me what you think.
Oh, well, if you insist, I will. Why don't we go half-half? Oh,
Look
at that. That is so gorgeous. And you can see that that crackling on top has set nicely. Taste. Never have I ever had a gluten-free cookie that tastes this good. You know what? It doesn't matter that it's gluten-free. It's just a damn delicious cookie. Cheers.
Cheers. That's where it should be.